Yeah, let's continue. This. What is okay, yeah, we're splitting teams, looking for the second thing. That may or not may not be real. I think he said it was a bluff, so. But I don't remember if that's because he knew about it already, or because he was bluffing that Holmes told him about it. I actually don't remember. Anyway, as we climb the stairs to the second floor, Holmes calls out to me in a soft voice. Nicely done with that trick you pulled to get everyone searching for a secret passage. If I didn't know better, I think I gave you the idea myself. I guess it went pretty well for something I made up on the spot. Obviously, I wasn't told anything about another hidden passage. It was simply a lie to give everyone a goal to work together on. That's right. At the very least, it'll prevent us from just dawdling about until catastrophe strikes. This is the first step to preventing that tragedy. You've grown quite a glib tongue. The way you used me as a pretext to steer the other detectives. Gee, thanks. Being forced to listen to your constant teasing must have paid off. Wonderful. Sarcasm is always a good sign. Keep that mindset and use it to sharpen your skills as a detective. Oh, of course, your head will be on the chopping block if you don't manage to find a hidden passage. Are you alright with that? Yes, my mind is set on this. If we do nothing, I'll die alongside the rest. Better to take a gamble and bank on the remote chance that there really is a secret way out. We detectives don't act. How else are we going to prevent tragedies? Looks like the guest rooms on the second floor have the exact same layout as the ones on the first. Oh yeah? You think they're the same size too? I should have snapped a pic of the blueprints while I had a chance. The dimensions and decor are exactly the same. The doors, however, are a bit crooked compared to those on the ground floor. Hence why they're hard to open, said the girl in response to downtown. So, TLDR, they just straight up weren't put in right. The place is, like, super swanky, though. Why get sloppy with only the doors? Wait, hold up, did you figure out all that just by looking? Damn, girl, that's crazy. Bookie's abilities allow her to recall anything, even after a single glimpse. If she states as much, then it must be true. Abilities? Like some kind of superpower? No, total recall is rare, but not impossible. It's classified in medical fields as highly superior autobiographical memory, or hyperthymesia. Lady Bookworm, you are a marvel. Consider me astounded. She seems to be upset about something. Mind the volume, if you would. This ability requires complete concentration. With that, the surveillance camera has been installed in the corner of the room. Let us proceed to the next. We check the other rooms, and as Bookworm said, they all share the same arrangement aside from that. You find nothing of note. The only oddity is that the doors to every room are crooked in comparison to those on the first floor. A fact Bookworm had also pointed out. I was so busy searching for Senior Detective that I didn't realize yesterday, but they really are hard to open. It's impossible to not to notice now. Pray tell, wherefore are these doors askew? They prove quite a challenge to open. Isn't this manor built on, like, a volcano or something? Maybe there is an earthquake and everything's kind of bent out of shape. Wait, the manor is built on a volcano? Apparently. I'm just telling you what I heard from the chief. In that case, why would this island of all places be chosen as the DA's headquarters? I mean, an island with a volcano on it is like mondo dangerous, so most people wouldn't want to live here, right? Morg's topography is optimal for warding off intruders, thus making it a prime hideout locale. Its inhospitality, though, is a double-edged sword. Then the knave who slipped into our high command slew the research facility members is quite formidable indeed. We must remain vigilant. Or perhaps they had no need to sneak in at all. Whatever the case, on to the next location. That'd be the second floor living room. I noticed something strange as we followed the convoluted hallway toward the living room. Huh? Left this door open. We passed through the open door and entered the room apart from the lack of a fireplace, its layout is identical to the living room on the first floor. It seemed empty, so it was glossed over during yesterday's sweep, but upon closer inspection, it's obviously bizarre compared to the others. This room is lame. Like, where's all the furniture? Just looking at it is a snooze fest. The furnishings consist solely of this table and these chairs, all of which are bolted to the floor. How very intriguing. Given the size of this room, it's hard to imagine it'd be suitable for anything other than meetings. What purpose could it normally serve? Look over here, incompetent. The west-facing door is being held open. You're right. There's a rope connecting the handle to the wall. What for? None of the others are like this. It could just be to keep it from closing, or perhaps there's another mechanism involved. I'm growing more and more confused, and on top of it all, the room had another stark difference to set it apart from the rest. Achoo. You good, Bookworm? What's with this room, anyway? I feel like I'm in a walk-in fridge. Oops, what I meant to do. So do I. Maybe it's a lot of cross-ventilation. Ugh, my legs are freezing up. What, is there a hole in the floor or something? She's right, it feels like there's wind circulating around my feet. This room is drafty and the manor is at a high altitude. That would explain why it's especially cold in here. If we investigate in these conditions for too long, it might end up affecting your health. Doleful, what's wrong? Are you okay? Sorry, I've been feeling nauseous ever since we entered this room. Doleful's face is losing its color. He looks even paler than back when we were attacked by that black machine. Is the cold getting him, or is he sensing some kind of danger? Hey, Mystic, wasn't there a wood stove downstairs? Why don't we bring it up here? An excellent idea. Nothing good will come of investigating at these temperatures. Let us retrieve it at once. Like, for real, why keep the door open when it's this cold? Whoever runs this place has an IQ lower than the temperature in here. But allow me to remedy the situation. Armor approaches the west-facing door, then brings his hand down on the rope connecting the handle to the wall, severing it. His cutting edge is as impressive as always. Just what is that armor made of? There. The door may now be sealed. This should lessen the chill. Armor makes his triumphant proclamation, then begins to close the door. But not one moment later... Wait, this gives me a bad feeling. Huh? Doleful sprinting towards Armor. Armor tilting his head, the door creaking shut. I see it all in slow motion as sparks explode in my mind. And then, right before my eyes... Doleful is pierced by a bed of slender spikes. He crumples limply to the ground, blood dripping from his mouth like an open faucet. Once again, I'm forced to watch as I lose yet another friend. I snap back into focus to see Doleful standing in front of me unharmed. Incompetent? Doleful's safe and sound. What was that? What's going on? What did I just see? You've predicted a future tragedy with your denouement. Quick, Watto, save Doleful! Not good. Dazed, I dart across the floor and shove Doleful. Huh. Doleful and I topple to the ground, and the very next moment, sharp spikes shoot out of the floor beside us. If I hadn't pushed him, Doleful would have been impaled, the way I had just witnessed. That was a close call. Too close. What artifice is this? The moment I closed the door, spikes sprung forth from below. I don't know, but obviously you shouldn't have done that. Go open the door already and let's bounce. Forgive me, but no matter how much force I muster, it refuses to budge. Armor frantically twists the handle on the east side of the room, but to no avail. Our situation is getting more dire by the second. It wasn't just the one time. More spikes are popping up from the edge. Doleful's right. Spikes are bursting up in ranks from the western side of the room. At this rate, we'll soon run out of space, and that'll be the end of us. We have to do something, but what? Holmes, what should we do? If this keeps up, none of us are going to make it. Get a hold of yourself, Watto, or they'll catch you talking to me. Why worry about that right now? This is life or death here. Exactly. It's life or death. So I'm telling you to remain calm. Holmes draws her face so close to mine that our noses nearly touch, shocking me to silence as she continues to speak. If you lose your composure now, you won't be able to avoid this tragedy. Pay close attention to Mystic Detective. Despite the rest of us panicking, Mystic and Bookworm remain calm and collected. Book, what changes have occurred in this room? There are gaps in the floorboards for the spikes to emerge from. That might be why the room is so cold, the girl said, relaying her observations. I see. Just like the chandelier, this trap is not single-use. Either it can be reset and triggered repeatedly. In which case, the arrangement of the furniture in the center must hold some particular meaning. Mystic takes Bookworm by the hand and starts giving us orders. Bookie, everyone, get on top of the table and chairs. Huh? But if we stand in the middle of the room, the spikes will reach us in no time. Trust in me, this will save us, or of that I am certain. We all exchange glances before making up our minds. For Mystic's orders, we scramble to climb the chairs, huddling together on the narrow table. Spikes spread out from the floor at a rapid pace, steadily heading our way. This won't work. The table and chairs aren't enough to stop that kind of momentum. We're all about to get skewered. I can't look. Unable to take it, I close my eyes, but then... It's alright to be afraid, but don't look away. Mystic Detective speaks from beside me, and my eyes shoot open. Only a reckless fool doesn't fear death, but to avert one's gaze out of fear is, above all, a fruitless endeavor. To become a true detective and competent, you must press on in the face of mortality, for a detective must always conquer their fear of death. Conquer my fear of death. Only in doing so can the truth be ascertained. Now keep your eyes open and behold. The spikes are in front of our noses at this point. leaping out with so much force that I can feel them part my hair. My body instinctively lurches toward the exit on the eastern end of the room. Visions of yesterday's victims flash spontaneously in my mind. People die. Everyone does. No matter how heroic they are or how storied and accomplished. I'd never been made to confront this obvious truth before. I'd go so far as to say that no one living a normal life truly understands it. Well, can they? It just goes to show how little ordinary people have to deal with human mortality. Oh snap. The spikes are almost here. Maybe I should text down my will or something? Do not utter such words of ill portent, Lady Downtown. Rest assured, should this table succumb to the spikes, I shall shield us all. Flying around. It's alright. I don't sense any more threats. It'll be okay. It has to be. Around me, everyone voices their concerns. We could all be impaled in a matter of moments. Even after all the carnage these detectives have seen, it's only natural for them to be afraid. And yet, no one tries to flee. They all have the courage they need to overcome their fears. I want to be brave like all the others, but I have to find this courage on my own. I refuse to run. I dig my nails in and will my legs to stop shaking. Then turn toward Mystic and speak in a clear voice. Mystic, sorry for letting my anxiety get the best of me. I won't bury my head in the sand again. I'll face my fear all the way to the end. There's a spark in your eyes. I can see now why Holmes was so fond of you. However, the truly terrifying part is yet to come. Hold your gaze to the very last moments. I will. This room really doesn't look that big. That it would take this long for the spikes to sprout. The cold, lifeless spikes stand right before us. The next place they strike will be right through the table, skewering us along with it. How have none of them else figured out the whole point of this? But at that moment, the inexplicable occurs. The spike skipped past the table. No way! What is this, some kind of magic trick? Sir Mystic, are you, perchance, a genuine practitioner of the arcane arts? I bid you instruct me in your secrets to spike evasion. There's no such thing. Use your brain for once, said the girl, profusely irritated at the moronic excuse of a detective. As they banter, the spikes continue piercing up in every spot except the table and chairs. In a few minutes, the entire room is crowded with spikes, the only exception being where we currently sit. These chairs and this table are the only safe zone. I shudder as I recall how we almost ran to the corners of the room. If we hadn't followed Mystic's lead, we would just be a pile of skewered corpses right now. It's a miracle we made it out. The only question I have is, how did he know where to go? Incompetent detective, can you guess how I surmise that this location will be out of harm's way? Well, I haven't the slightest idea. All they'll notice is how hard I'm struggling to answer and whispers into my ear. There's an easy clue if you approach it with a cool head. The biggest hint was the lack of furniture. The lack of furniture? What do you mean? Let's say this room is fully furnished and the trap was activated. The only room with spikes. What would happen? The furniture would all get destroyed, I mean. Those things are coming out with a lot of force. Oh wait, I get it. That's why there's no furniture, except for the chairs and table, that is. There you go. Now let's take it from the opposite angle. There must be a reason why the chairs and table don't break when the trap is triggered. They are also bolted down to the floor. That means it's important to note that they have to remain in this exact position. So from that, you can assume that the spikes won't hit where the chairs and tables are. Well done, Doleful Detective. As you said, If you think about it calmly, it's hardly a difficult problem to solve. Most, however, fearing death, would flee in a panic toward the corners, leaving them trapped with no option but to await their demise. Ugh, what the F? Whoever designed this manor's got, like, serious issues. Sir Mystic, your nimble insight saved our lives. 1,000 gramercies, my good man. Think nothing of it. It is, after all, human nature to protect your companions, is it not? But remember this, the trepidation within the hearts of man often obscures the facts. I too was once imprisoned by it, committing a grave error as a result. Thus do I now hone my knowledge so as to better face the supernatural and occult. For every deadlock, there is a ray of hope to be found. It is vital that a detective have the will to defy fear and pursue the truth. In time, the spikes recede into their cavities beneath the floor, and the room returns to how it was before. It looks as though nothing had happened at all. No one would believe me if I told them there were spikes ready to burst out from the floor. Everyone, heartily do I cry your mercy. Armor leaps to the floor and prostrates himself before us. Sorry's not going to cut it, tin for brains. Quit being such a reckless bozo for once. Go easy on the guy. Armor closed the door out of concern for our well-being. Well, let's just leave it at that. This rust bucket gets away with everything because you guys keep coddling him. Screw your bro code and show him some tough love. Ugh. 3 of us stand in a row before the peeved-off downtown, heads bowed in apology. Nothing but imbeciles, wall to wall, the girl said, glowering at the men with scorn in her eyes. Mind your words, it is a splendid quality to have the strength to speak so casually after such a close encounter with the Reaper. That Holmes, it would seem she's left us quite the parting gift, hasn't she? What? We use our D-pads to notify the other detectives about the trap in the second-floor living room. Also, per downtown's suggestion, we rigged the door so that it'll stay open on its own. What are you digging into the floor? I'm putting a wooden block in here so we can use it as a doorstop, you know? So it stops the door from closing. Duh. She shoves the chunk of wood Armor had shaved into a cube into the hole. Part of the block juts out of it, preventing the door from shutting. It's pretty sturdy, so long as it stays put, even a strong shove wouldn't close the door. This should help keep things safe. I get it. This is way simpler than securing it with a rope, not to mention more reliable. Go me, right? I've got tons of younger siblings, so we'd always wedge doors open like this. Helps keep them from smacking into stuff. Of course, it means I get, like, zero privacy, though. It is true that children often injure themselves on doorknobs. I find this to be an excellent solution. You never know what life experiences may come in handy. We ensure the door won't close and set off the trap, then leave the room behind. After we finish setting up the surveillance cameras, we decide to have dinner in the dining room. Once again, we gather around the refectory table, salivating in anticipation of gourmet's cooking. Techie, the man of the hour, takes a seat of honor, his PC is connected to his tablet, as he clatters away at the keyboard. He appears to be setting things up so that all the cameras can be monitored from the tablet. My curiosity gets the best of me, so I go over to see what he's doing. How's it going? Does it look like the cameras are going to function alright? Yes, in fact, the one in the entrance hall is already operational. Take a look. Techie takes his tablet off the table and shows it to me. There on the display is the entrance hall, the manor's sole means of entry and exit. With this, we should be able to prevent the culprit from sneaking out of here. Dang, this is a one killer setup you got here. Bet you can make a transmitter so we can radio back to HQ. What do you say? That's beyond my capabilities. I just combined the phone's recording functions with our D-pad's comm system. It was nothing special, really. So modest. Security cams, instant footage. I could never make stuff like this. Instant noodles? Now that's something I excel at. Come off it, will ya? This food look like instant noodles to ya? I mean, get a load of this. Beast. Rowdy's right. While there are fewer dishes than last night, everything is brand new. But they all look delicious. The crystal clear soup in particular is exquisite, with its flavorful seafood stock. The flavorful broth that melts in your mouth fish is delicious. I'm amazed you made this with so few ingredients and seasonings. Oh, stop with the praise, or I'll turn red as a beet. I'll have you know that this is a very simple dish. There was plenty of fish in the freezer, so I went ahead and simmered it, nice and slow. The trick to a delicious meal isn't being picky about ingredients. It's patience, thoroughness, time, and effort, just like an investigation. So nobody get frustrated over not finding the hidden passage today, okay? Upping the heat on a soup you've labored over will only spoil it. I'm totally down to be locked up in here a few more days if it means I get to eat like this every night. Likewise, the gang's all here and the party never stops. It's almost like we're on vacation. Have some decorum, you two, especially you downtown. You've nearly died in a trap today. Then there's the chandelier and who knows what else. It's far too dangerous here. That's why we must find the hidden passage and escape. Pronto. Get that stick out of your butt, Pashi. Some casual chit-chat might bring up a few good ideas. Finding a hidden passage. Like, quit being so serious and chill. You know that word? Chill? How simple life would be if chatter produced quality thoughts. Well, I for one think downtown might be onto something. What? Please, enough with your jests. But aren't you aware, Posh? Solving cases via conversation is how downtown has moved up the ranks. It's your primary weapon, so to speak. Conversation a weapon? Is this meant to be some sort of jab against high society? Not at all. I'm merely stating the facts. Answer me this, incompetent. When you need to think, which works better for you? Hiding away someplace quiet or traversing busy streets? Somewhere quiet. I can't collect my thoughts if I'm walking around, let alone through a busy area. I thought as much, but the data shows that many distinguished business leaders prefer the latter, livelier option. Really? What would that be? I simply cannot comprehend. Explain it in nobleman's terms, if you please. It's because it provides your brain with the appropriate amount of stimulation. Obviously, background noise will distract if you need to concentrate, but if you want to broaden your mind, too much focus can work against you. It's as Renegade says, the brain is most active with new stimuli, so continuous engagement, i.e. talking, makes it easier to develop fresh ideas. The more we converse, the easier it is for each of us to share what we know. This facilitates an otherwise neglected exchange of information. In fact, downtown is the third fastest in the DA at solving cases. Only founding Detective Vidok and Ideal, our de facto chief, exceed her. Downtown deepens her interactions with others, both to her benefit and theirs. This social deduction is highly regarded in the DA. I think so much thought lies behind that method. There's far more to you than meets the eye. I mean, it's not like I put that much thought into it. My head just goes into sleep mode if there's no tea to spill. You know how in mysteries, a side character will say whatevs and something clicks into place? That's why I prefer group chats over going solo. Social deduction, is it? I return to my seat. Armor sits next to me, deep in thought. I too must devise a unique deduction technique of my own. Well, if the idea is to stimulate your brain, maybe some light exercise would help clear your mind. Ah, workout deduction. Magnificent. I shall put it to the test this very night.
Just remember not to focus too much on the exercise, or you'll forget to do any actual thinking.
Hey, you back. Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I've been back. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've just been letting me read all the lines. Anyway, it's fun. Oh. But your train is to battle against the self. Would it not prove fatal to ruminate on idle thoughts in the heat of combat? If that's the way you see it, maybe you just aren't cut out for this.
It's a bit tricky to get right. I've worked a case with Downtown before, and she's actually pretty attentive to her surroundings. You could say she has a knack for picking up on social cues. Anyway, it's obvious she excels at talking to people without bothering them.
To think of it, when I reproached myself after we eluded the spike trap, she chided me for it, preventing me from growing overly dispirited. She also scolded us back when Holmes died. That's Downtown's way of being kind, I'm sure of it. Oh, that's incompetent. Whatever, fuck it. I read the words.
Yeah. Right, about that, I'm just going to come out and say it, since it's you, incompetent. But Downtown's friend was actually killed by the quartering Duke. It's why she gets so weirdly fixated on camaraderie.
The quartering Duke killed her friend?
Sorry, that was your cough.
Sure. Yeah, exactly. How dare you take my line after I already did it? Someone's coughing. Echoes of the dining room. Bookworm is covering her mouth, looking pale in the face. Mystic stands behind her, patting her back with concern.
Are you alright, Bookie? You have just endured a distressing experience. There's no need to push yourself if you are unable to eat.
It's fine. After all the effort that went into this food, it would be a shame not to enjoy it, said the girl, taking up her spoon.
There's no need to put a tough front with me. Even in the Detective Alliance, your powers of recollection are superb. Yesterday's gruesome scene, today's deadly trap. It's a small wonder that you're at your limit after witnessing such horrors in quick succession.
Mystic gives a gentle smile as he takes Bookworm's trembling hands into his own. She gives him a silent nod before the two of them stand.
Our apologies for leaving early, but we will be retiring for the night. You may leave our plates where they are. I will return to clean them up. But will he come back?
Is Bookworm okay? The food wasn't poisoned, was it? Did I do that? I might have done that. Did I do that?
I mean, you are incompetent, so,
Yeah, even though I didn't make it, I somehow poisoned it anyway.
Yeah. Nothing of the sort, I assure you. To be brief, it is an adverse effect of her memory.
An adverse effect?
I shall explain at another time. Again, our apologies for disturbing you all. Please continue dining.
With that, they leave the room. Everyone's minds must be on Mystic and Bookworm. Our chatter dies down as we eat in silence. Afterward, we all pitch in to clean up before going our separate ways. Oh, incompetent. Are you busy after this? Gourmet calls to me right before I leave. Techie is with her, balancing his tablet and laptop on his knees. These two make a bit of an odd couple. I thought about taking a look at the study, but I don't have anything really planned. what's up. We want to set up the tablet in the living room so we can check the security cams, but we need one of the guys to help us move the furniture. Armor and Doleful both refused. They were worried they would inadvertently break my electronics. They might have a point there. I'd be happy to help. I can picture Armor snapping the tablet with his brute strength, or Doleful tripping over and ripping through the cords. How cold. You ought to extend that invitation to me. We exchanged a glance at the unexpected words from this equally unexpected person. You want to help too, Renegade Detective? Why the surprise? Didn't I say my hobby is volunteering back when we first met? I can't help but help when I see someone struggling. It's in my nature. In fact, it's the reason I became a detective. It's striking how insincere he sounds. As usual, I can't get a read on him, but many hands make light work, so it can't hurt to say yes. Well, thanks. Okay, then let's head to the living.
I'll help as well. I do have some seniority here after all. I mean, he does look like an old man.
Yeah. Workaholic, you're still here? I reflexively jump back, surprised to see Workaholic next to me.
I've been here the whole time. Seems I don't make much of an impression. It kind of stings, actually.
Sorry, but yes, we'd appreciate the hand. So many nice young men helping out. This will make setting up the tablet a breeze. Thanks, everyone. Let's head to the living room. Gourmet pushes Techie's wheelchair out of the room. I start following after them, but when my hand touches the door... Don't worry, I'm not up to anything. Promise.
So you say, but talk is cheap.
I sense a palpable tension between Workaholic and Renegade Detective. Did something happen earlier this afternoon? I'm curious, but also too cowardly to ask. So I continue on to the living room. All surveillance cameras are in position. Thank you for your help, everyone. Having rearranged the living room furniture, installed the cables, and set up the tablet on the table, our work is finally done. It's now 9 p.m. The room's layout made wiring things difficult, so the process wound up taking much longer than we had anticipated. How do we view what the cameras are recording? You can use the tablet on the table for that. There's no view of the surveillance feed on the home screen. Just tap 1 to expand the video. Oh, Rowdy. Combat training in our room again, I see. Well, they actually put I guess you have to put it everywhere, but... I was expecting to put them in the bedrooms. We can't hear anything. But look how hard she's going at it. Classic Rowdy. There's no sound? Correct. I couldn't get clean audio out of the smartphone speakers, so I gave up on it. It's a bit of relief to hear that it isn't recording sound. It means I can speak with Holmes in my room without anyone finding out. I'm crazy.
Great work, Techie. This means nearly every room is covered by a camera, doesn't it? I'll loop in the other detectives regarding this update via D-pad.
They're still gonna, there's gonna be like, it's always weird that whenever, Incompetent's in this room, he just randomly starts talking like there's someone there. I don't know what he's saying, but he does it all the time. Hopefully these cameras will be enough of a deterrent to prevent any further casualties. It should. Seeing as even our rooms are being monitored, trying to go after anyone now would basically be confessing that you're the Duke. Right. Thanks for the reassurance, Incompetent. Techie, you've been distracted by your work. You've hardly eaten. Why don't you go to the dining room and I'll fix the meal for you? If you really don't mind, then yes, please, thank you so much. Gourmet pushes Techie's wheelchair, and the two of them head toward the dining room.